Well, I can start from the beginning if you got time. So I was born here. My mother was 16 when she had me. I always felt like I was not good enough. I got bitter. I looked for something to fill a hole, my void, and I ended up drinking a lot, ended up on drugs. I ended up, I had children before out of wedlock, and I was lost. I was married. I got 4 children. I was married for 14 years. Somehow during the middle of all that chaos, and this is how I get to do a lot of stuff I've done, I got a job with the railroad. I was always gone, and it ruined family. It strained relationships on everyone. But so my wife left after 14 years. When I left home the final day, I left and I literally got in my truck and I looked left and I looked right and I didn't know where to go. I can remember just sitting in my truck or anywhere and thinking, is this all life really has to offer? Finally, one night I came home from work, and like I said, I had read what little bit, but I came home from work and I just got down on my face. I'd bought a camper and moved it into my grandmother's land, like where nobody could see it. So basically I was just trying to get away from everybody. And I laid down on my face and I just told God, I was like, either take me out of this world or save me, help me, help me. And I made a promise to God that if he could help me and he could forgive me, I would do anything he ever asked me to do. I'd go wherever he wanted me to go. I'd live for him. So I just sit there and I prayed, and I finally started attending a church. And I just engulfed myself in the Bible because I knew nothing. Like when I say all the Sunday school stories of Abraham and Isaac and the stories, I knew none of it. It was all fresh to me. We started praying about missions for several months, and I kept seeing these little articles of Alaska would pop up about needing pastors, needing missionaries. I seen Jay, and he was meeting with, in the Alabama Baptist paper, meeting with somebody, and I was like, I don't know, this guy seems important, but I'll send him a message anyway. So Jay sends me a text message, or email, I'm sorry, when he got off a plane. He was actually landing from Anchorage, and he was coming back to Birmingham. So we met Jay and Carol and started, a friendship and started looking into missions, and one thing led to another, and next thing I know, I'm on a plane to Anchorage and actually staying at Jay's house, and that was a wild ride. When we left, we thought we would never come back. We went in, and when pastors would go on sabbaticals, I would fill in for them and travel around, meet with different pastors, just kind of support them and uplift them and encourage them. And I look back and I see that God was preparing me for ministry back in Alabama. And we started having churches to call, a church and a ministry call, and to tell us that, we're not trying to call you off the mission field, but when God moves, if he ever moves you, we would like for you to join us. And and we started praying again, and then we left. And as soon as I came back and went on staff with a church, the school where my kids go to school, they called, and I become the Bible teacher, and I've been there 3 years. And, we had 16 baptisms the year before last. We've had salvations, and this church, we've had 8 baptisms this year. We've had, and I see God's hand in it. I believe stories. I believe our testimony of how God, changed us. And, I look back and just God's story completely changed me. The Bible, so many stories in the Bible, reading it affirmed to me that God could use me, from Moses to David to, all these different people. But our story is important. That's why Paul told his testimony everywhere he went. I think sometimes, especially for the world we live in, the broken world, that people want to know there's hope.